Hello folks, it's Ron from Ron's Beers and Tools. Have a beer to showcase today, as you can see in front of you, from Guinness Ltd. It's a Guinness Irish Wheat. There's a number of things about this beer, or I should say first off on this beer is, first of all, the story of the Irish Wheat that's in this here. It goes back to Ireland's sunny side. It's far away from the salty sea coastline where they're growing this wheat. And the Irish Midlands were basically the prime spot to grow the wheat. And this is the first ever beer to use 100% wheat malt. It should be golden in color, this wheat malt, make the brew that same color, with a hint of spicy clove and citrus. This Irish wheat is lively wheat that's perfect for any occasion. So they've grown this themselves. First time they've used their Irish wheat in a brew. This is basically brewed. The wheat is completely grown in Ireland. It's fermented with Guinness yeast, and the Irish wheat beer is a Guinness take on a classic style of wheat beers, as we know. All right, let's see what we got on this bottle. Let's first of all, like we always do, let's look at the top of this. I like their top. I think this is my favorite of all bottle tops. There's this one here. 1759. That's when he started. Mr. Arthur Guinness in Dublin many years ago. And there's a big history with that gentleman. Now this here is, if you can read, the Brewers Project, St. James Gate, Dublin. I think in front of, as we know, Guinness Stout is at St. James Gate, but also at that major gate. I'm pretty sure, would bet my life on this, that there's another brewery there that's a small brewery for small batches, because they're busy brewing their very famous, world famous Guinness Stout. And that small brewery brews these small batches of different brews. It still has its signature on it, Mr. Arthur Guinness. Second, okay, no further. Let's see what it has to say. Maybe, yeah. See, in the back it says, a group of enterprising brewers on a quest to explore new recipes, reinvent old ones, and collaborate freely to bring exciting beers to life. Brewed with Guinness ale yeast and 100% Irish wheat. This clean, crisp, refreshing tasting beer with, I guess, aromas of zesty citrus, subtle clove, and banana. All right, let's not waste too much more time on the words. Let's get the beer. I do want to say some stuff about this company. It was first started in basically 1759 as a company. Mr. Arthur Guinness. He basically signed. He went to Dublin in 1859, found an old dilapidated brewery. I think we all know the story. And he ended up signing a 9,000-year lease, which now they own that lease many times over. But he signed a 9,000-year lease. Now, there's a guy that's going in the right direction. 9,000-year lease. I mean, he's very optimistic for sure. All right, this 5.3% ABV. The hops in this are Mounthood and Amarilo. He basically wanted to say, when he got to Dublin, they were all drinking their ales and so forth. Back then, now, this is back then, he did not want to brew any ales. Nope, he did not want to brew any ales. He wanted to brew a porter, a black porter, and he did. Okay, we're not going to use the familiar, this is the familiar, the Rockingham Pig, who says, trust the pig. This comes back. Usually the glasses take a while to come back when they get upstairs. I'm not going to use the familiar tool, the Klein tool. I'm going to try a different one. Since we got the same glass. We got this a Coors Light keychain bottle opener. Years ago, they gave these out at the package stores in Massachusetts. Okay, no further ado. Let's open this up, because I'm very interested in trying this. glass. Boy, a bubble came out first. All right. Without further ado. Ooh, that looks nice. That surely looks nice. Oh, there's the carbonation. Yep, carbonation's coming up. The marriage right there. Yeah, the marriage right there. It's a nice one. Surely. Oh, I'm getting the aromas from here. I'm a little bit of distance away. Get the drone up. It's already going up. Okay, they got it going up. Looks good. Looks good. A lot of small bubbles compressing. Gives that creaminess. Sure, looking good. There's two big ones in the middle there, bigger than the small. But the edges are looking creamy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, whoa. Don't land it. All right. Ooh. All right. Okay, usually have it. All right. All right. Let's see some information on this brewery and the beer and so forth. Basically, like I say, he was the first to brew the black porters. Another first of his, of Arthur Guinness, was he sent 8 barrels. This is in. You got the paperwork for this, the bill and everything. It was the 16th of October, 1817. He sent 8 barrels of that black porter to a Mr. John Heavy in South Carolina. They still have the paperwork. They still have the bill, the receipts, and so forth. 8 barrels in 1817 sent to South Carolina. Well, that is something. 1817. In 1858, exported to New Zealand. That was now in 1858. It was exporting to New Zealand, where most folks in Ireland or England were satisfied with their customer base within their pub or their brewery. They were satisfied with it, but not Mr. Guinness. He wanted to expand, and he did, and he did, and he did. And in 1815, the business was taken over by Benjamin Guinness, to be more precise, Sir Benjamin Guinness. He took over from Arthur Guinness II. And this one I like. I like them all, but this one I like. It touches home. In World War II, Guinness Brewery sent every British Expeditionary Force troop. They each got a bottle of Guinness. Now, those bottles were a little bit bigger than this here. They were bigger. They were a liter. And each one got a Guinness with their Christmas dinner. So at Christmas time, during World War II, Guinness sent each British expeditionary troop a bottle of beer. Now, that's very good. Very good. I congratulate them on that. 1859. This is another. It's people call it quirky or odd things. Well, it's things that businesses do and they can afford it. In 1859, the Guinness Brewery Company dropped 150,000 bottles, not with beer in it. These bottles were embossed bottles, expensive bottles. 150,000 of them into the Atlantic Ocean. Not in one spot. 38 different ships dropped these 150,000 bottles throughout the Atlantic. Now, these bottles floated. Now, remember, this is back in 1959. They floated. And inside of those bottles were colorful Guinness labels, all that were going to be coming out years down the road, but they were all in these bottles now, 1959, or I should say then, 1959, which was now for those folks, which would be the future by 1860, 61, 62. And they also had inside the bottle instructions how to take that bottle and make it into a table lamp. It had a few other documents in there, too, about the Guinness Brewery and the folks that work at Guinness, and it had a lot of little bit of information in those bottles. And that is 150,000 of them. I'd like to know if anybody ever in the United States or anybody in the world, because now seeing as the internet is all over the world, and we get this part of the world here, we intertwine with the rest of the world. Maybe we can get somebody read this and send us some photos put them online, and so we can see what those bottles look like and what was inside of them. That'd be really nice. The other thing, in 1988 was the first time widgets were used. In 1988, widgets were used when they put the nitrogen widgets in their bottles to bring the creaminess of their heads in their beers. Alright, no further ado. I'm going to drink this, and like I say, I hope somebody has one of those bottles or some of those paperwork that was in those 150,000 bottles and puts them on YouTube. That'd be nice. That's one good positive point for the internet. Okay, no further ado. Head is kind of gone down a little bit. I would have thought it would have stayed. Maybe on these wheat type beers they don't. That I know, like the stouts and the porters, they don't. But anyways, I mean, it poured a haziness, didn't it? There's a haziness to this beer. Still got the carbonation coming up, but there's a haziness. But wheat beers do have that haziness, don't they now? So, it was a white foamy head, kind of a hazy golden color. Alright, no further ado. Get some aroma on this. Yep, yeah. That clovey, that wheat flavor. That wheat comes right out as far as the aroma. Citrusy, clove. I'm not getting any banana, like they said. Maybe that's in the flavor. Alright, no further ado. Bottoms up. Dry wheat taste. Some sweetness that balances nice with the hops. The wheat malt is strong. Very light biscuity. Tastes good. I mean, taste a little bit of the sweetness. The body is light to medium bodied. High carbonation. Definitely easy drinking beer for sure. It's well brewed, that's for sure. And it's very highly drinkable. It goes down nice. Now, let's see if we can get something on this bottle here that I'm seeing here. This flower. Oh, it's the sun. I just only had a couple of mouthfuls, and I'm looking through the sun as a flower. Refreshing taste, full body wheat beer, and it's the sun. In zestry citrus, subtle clove, and banana aroma in this. Alright, 5.3% ABV. The Brewers Project. Remember that now, like I say, the Brewers Project, and look into that. As I say, it's a small brewery at St. James Gate, so that the big brewery, which is a big, huge brewery, and I mean, they used to have their own train station in there, their own fire department in there, their own medical department. It was just a big conglomerate back in its time. I don't know if it still is, but it's definitely a world-class brewery. Definitely. This is very nice. Very nice, whoever the brewers are. Very well. Very drinkable. I know one thing. These bottles that they produce, they all have his signature. Not just on the label, but on the bottle, as you can see. At the Guinness. And again, see what this says, the Brewers Project. St. James Gate, Dublin. Look into that. You'll find that it's a smaller brewery at St. James Gate. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. One of my favorite brewers of beers around in Massachusetts, in Framingham, is Jack's Abbey, and they have another brewery, and I can't think. Oh, Springdale. There's a bottle. Let's get the drone up. There's one of the cans right there. Springdale. That's actually Jack's Abbey's brewery that is near there, within walking distance, very close, and they brew different styles other than their lagers and so forth, which is nice. That's great that brewers can do that. Give a lot of choices to their drinking people. They have a nice fan base, and they should enjoy different kinds of beers. I like my lagers. I like all different kind of lagers. But they brew some, I think it's ales and different Irish. This one here is an Irish style. Here we go. Let's bring it on. I don't mean to take away from Guinness, but this is an Irish style stout. As you can see. Hope the light isn't bouncing off this too much. And that's an Irish style stout. And they call this the Reverend Series because it's in that Springdale brewery that they have. Alright, I do like Jack's Abbey beers, but we're talking about this one here, Guinness, and I do like Guinness. I love their stouts. They're typical Irish stout. That is a must for us here on St. Patrick's Day and throughout the winter. We need to have a nice stout beer. That is it. That is it. I know it's owned now by Diego. Does it say it on here? Yeah. Product of Ireland, imported by Diego. There it is. Diego Guinness USA. Alright. We're going to end this fast, so it won't be too long. I want to say thank you for all our military veterans and their families. If you're going to drink, don't drive. Enjoy the Memorial Day weekend. Eat a lot, drink a lot, but don't drive. Enjoy the family. Do it with the family and friends. They're the best. Ciao.